All right, it's your boy Conserviz34. Just did a quick little looping of Maxwell's Bad Habits Uncut. This is the review for Maxwell's show yesterday in Wallingford, Connecticut. My final show of the year music-wise. Going to see my boy Godfrey tonight in Manchester. But this is my final concert of the year. Had to get a little bit more R&B in there to mix it up with all the jam bands and a little bit of rap. But what a show. We're going to review Maxwell's 50 Intimate Nights Tour. This was show 48 of 50. He's got two more. He's going to PA. Then he's going back to his home state of New York. I think it's in NYC coming up. But what a show. I was very impressed with this show. You see, R&B, when these R&B artists get to their mid-40s like Maxwell, it could be hit or miss. It could be good or bad. It could be overpriced many times, just to be honest. We are paying a lot of money and they can have diva tendencies. But Maxwell, it was worth every penny that I paid. A very intimate show as far as every seat, for the most part, was really close and nice, including the one I was sitting in. You can see my videos that I just posted this morning. I had Shame, I had Lifetime, and then I had Bad Habits Uncut. Those are the three ones that I decided to record. The rest of the time, man, I was dancing. I was dancing in my seat, not in the aisles, but some people were dancing in the aisles. It was a party. It was an R&B party though. It was really, you know, everyone was just in that mood to hear the guitars and the organs and the horns. We had old ladies behind me. You better get it, Maxwell. You go ahead, Maxwell. We had panties being thrown onto the stage from the rip. You know, usually this is R&B, you know, protocol. Women will throw their panties on stage. It was literally as soon as the show started, okay, there were panties on there. But this show 48 of 50, so Maxwell's been on for a while. He said, look, if I miss a note, if I mess up, don't post it on social media. Look, don't judge me. It's been a long tour, but he still put on a great show. The best thing that I liked about Maxwell compared to the average R&B performance is this was a live band, folks. Yes, there are live bands for many R&B acts, but this was all live band. Maybe there may have been a small cut track or here or there, but it was really his band. There wasn't cut tracks. There wasn't backing vocals from a cut track. This was 100% instruments to me, from what I could determine. Maybe a small effect here and there, but as far as audio-wise, but this was all in venue. And I love live music. I love live instruments, okay? I don't go to these DJ, you know, these EDM stuff where there's a DJ just playing stuff. I don't really like certain rap shows and R&B shows where there is a DJ doing most of the backing track. I prefer live music for that headlining act to perform with. Stage presence was amazing. He has great stage presence, moving around the stage, still being able to sing, still be able to have that soulful sound at around, I think he's 45 now. So I thought that was great. I like the balance. You know, some shows, the artist doesn't talk at all. Some shows they talk too much. Some shows they get too political. Now, he had his stances, but he wasn't getting too political. He said, hey, shout out to everyone who voted for the midterm elections. But he just said in general, like anyone, it doesn't matter what you voted for, but you wanted change. He said, continue to vote. He talked about incarceration with lifetime, which is, again, he's a general subject. He's not saying Democrat or Republican. He's talking about a real issue that affects African Americans and people of all races, and he talked about it very briefly. Goes to lifetime. He talks about his background, eclectic background. His dad being Puerto Rican, his dad died very early in life, and his mom being Haitian, and how you know, that was where he came up from. And I didn't really know that. I've listened to Maxwell. I didn't really like go through a deep dive of his biography and who he was before this show. I wish I kind of did, but I mean, it's dope to have that Latin influence, and then also the African American Haitian, you know, Haitian immigration. But when you're in New York, you're going to deal with the African Americans that come from the South. He's going to have that influence being from New York City. So, and he talked about listening to Hendrix, but he listened to Al Green, he listened to all this other stuff. He said, don't let people put you in a box, and I love that. But there was a balance of that. He tied his little talks, but he performed. He had a video clip, celebrating an anniversary of, that was the album that submerges from Embrya. Yeah, he did some stuff, and he had another clip as well from later on in the show. And I just thought it was smooth and perfect. Great set, great lighting. Again, it's an Intimate Nights tour. You know, he didn't have use of any sort of video screens outside of a little bit of video on the backdrop behind the band, but that was very limited. It's an intimate night tour. Everyone should be able to see the stage. It's an intimate venue tour that he's doing. So he didn't really have a bunch of things on the top screens at the Oakdale. It was really everyone should see, look at the stage, look at the set, look at everything on stage. Don't look up at the screens. I thought that was cool, although I like certain venues. You want to see the screens if you're farther back, but this was an intimate show. And then he did some cool things. I love the Lake by the Ocean performance. He adds a little bit of an island vibe. He says, I'm going to take you to the island. Okay, we get the island vibes on Lake by the Ocean. And, you know, that was really cool. I loved Pretty Wings. An interesting song to start off with. He did Pretty Wings and then Bad Habits, which you saw in my first video. But he did it really well. The way he played and performed it was a nice, beautiful start. He has the kind of the backdrop. He comes around from what looks like a moon, turns around, and he's there. Really cool. I love Pretty Wings. Pretty Wings to me, one thing I'll say about Maxwell that I think goes slept on, it's underrated. From 2009 on, the Black Summer Nights trilogy that's going to end very soon when he releases the third album. This is one of the great, you know, rebrandings and reconfiguration of sound. He has an R&B sound in the 90s, but when you get to 2009, Maxwell actually starts to have a newer, evolved, and mature sound for the current times of what's going on. He's not copying the latest R&B stuff, but he's adding some new sounds. You can sounds more modern and contemporary. And I love, again, I'm 28, so the R&B that I was listening to as I was listening to music live was the Black Summer Nights trilogy. So the first two. Not obviously the third one's coming soon, but I love Pretty Wings. I love the guitar parts, and I love everything mixed in. And I love Bad Habits too. These are newer songs that to me I like. But again, the classics are the classics. He played Lifetime. He played some of the other, Till the Cops Come Knocking, his first single. But he did a great job with balancing old and new. But the new stuff, I mean, as for someone who's making new music, I would still want to hear it. There's a lot of artists that make new music and it's trash. New R&B artists that make music and it's trash. I want to hear your old stuff. Black Summer Nights trilogy is amazing so far, and I'm looking forward to the next one. By the way, check out my video for Shame. This is a single from the final album in the trilogy for Black Summer's Night, and I think Night is going to be capitalized because the first one, Black, is capitalized, Summers is capitalized in the middle. This one's going to be Night. I love the song, and the effects on that, you can kind of see it through my video, but if you can make one of the final two stops, by all means, go to Pennsylvania, and then they got New York. If you can make it, the effects for Shane were really dope. He has a little veil. It's really, really cool. It wasn't too much. He didn't have 50 people on stage, but he had just enough, a supporting singer, a bassist, a guitarist, an organist, a keys player, a drummer. It was awesome to me what he did. One thing I would say that I would like to hear is songs like Submerge and A Woman's Worth were not played. It's a very, I mean, you get in, you get out, you know, and I go to shows where people play 3 hours, these jam bands. But again, I think maybe for the sake of the energy and the performance, he's putting his all into that time. I think he got on around 9:30, 9:45. He was off by 10:30. And that's including set changes, intros, outros. I mean, it may have been a little before 10:30, like 10:12, 10:15. So he did about 90 minutes of actual music or so, just a little more than that, which is standard for the average show. Again, your boy Conserviz 34 goes to artists that play all night long, okay? So they literally play 2 or 3 hours. They have 2 sets. So it was a quicker show for me, but I thought it was great. I just like how, and he mentions this too, it was a real experience. Real music, real live band, real interaction with the crowd. I guess some of the VIPs may have talked to him before, but he was shouting them out. Someone had a wedding anniversary. Someone just got engaged. Someone had a birthday. So with his VIPs up front, he really was engaging with them. And he was engaging with the whole crowd too. But the people up front that were dancing and really going hard, he really showed his appreciation. He showed how humble he is and how he appreciates everything that he's gotten because of the fans. And I really like that. So I love this show. I love the Oakdale. Shout out to Toyota Oakdale Theater. Outside of the parking situation, which is out of their control, and you can pay $20 to get out quicker. Everything is always a class act there. The sound is always amazing, which it was last night. The venue, the actual theater is amazing. And then they have the dome where it's more of a GA kind of like club feel. If it's a smaller 1,000 or 2,000 person show that they don't get as many people, it's right in the lobby. They put a stage there. But I've always had great experiences here. Great sound, great presentation. It's one of the best music theaters in the country. Yeah, you have the Bush, yeah, you have the Palace and Waterbury. But when it comes to a concert, this venue is made for live concerts. Other stuff is made for plays and orchestras, but the Oakdale is an amazing venue to go to. If you have a show that you think's coming up that you might want to see at the Oakdale, I highly suggest it. Also, when shows come through New York, they sell out. They come through Boston, they sell out, which this Maxwell show is doing. Boston a couple nights ago, 2 nights ago, and then New York in a couple nights. You come here to Wallingford if you're coming from the tri-state area and just north of New York City, Westchester County. Consider driving up to the Oakdale. It's right in New Haven County, right over. You cross over to Meriden, and then Wallingford is there. And it's a great venue. That's all I got. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys are watching this for the first time, it's your boy Conserviz 34. If you came and you saw the Maxwell videos, you saw this, you're like, wow, there's a lot of white people when he goes to see shows, and I go to see everything. So you'll see Elton John, you'll see Dave Matthews, you'll see J. Cole, Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder videos are up here too. I love all types of music, and I love to experience it. I love to, hip hop and R&B are at my core, but there's not a lot of good R&B and hip hop acts that are worth paying the money for, that come through to Connecticut, that I can also see. I can't see every show here, but I try to do as many different shows as I can, and share them with people. But definitely check them out. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. Twitter at Conserviz34. Instagram at Conserviz34. Same spelling as this channel. That's all I got. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the likes. Also, FNUTBD. Oh, he likes reviews. Yeah, so that's one of my guys over there that checks out the DMB stuff. So yeah, Dave Matthews being a big artist that I go to see a lot. Been to 18 shows, so I will be having some more content there. Also be having some content about the musical act Rush and how I'm listening through. I'm binge listening through their catalog, even though I've listened to much of it. I'm listening through it album by album in order to see how the sounds evolve. And I'll have, hopefully in 2019, I'm going to try to see what else is there with rap and R&B to add more of that flavor, because hip hop, to me, I know I have tons of information on it. There's just not a lot of artists, again, that to me put on a great show outside of J. Cole and Kendrick, both I saw this year. But that's it. It's your boy ConcertViz34. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.